Well, I've got the stream live on my laptop in front of me as well, just so I could see comments and stuff.
So you should hopefully now see it starting to boot up.
Yeah.
So, as you can now see, folks, that is us now live. So, at this point, if you're wanting a piss, a smoke, a quick cup of tea, quick refresh on anything, what I'll do, guys, is I'll introduce the stream, I suppose, and then I'll just...
You can hear us live on YouTube right now.
And then I'll just bring us all in.
Am I live?
No, you won't be there now, but you will be as soon as we go into the lounge.
Yeah, they can hear us live right now, like opening music.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Lama, you need to mute your microphone in OBS, mate.
OBS is such a pain!
Yeah, and you need to also mute the desktop audio as well. And then remember to unmute it when it's ready to start.
Oh, we'll be fine.
Interesting.
Well, hello people. This is something slightly different for you this evening. I've got a couple of thank yous though, first and foremost, that I need to get out the road. Want to say a massive thank you to both Jason and Steve-O for letting us try something a little bit different, which is the Llama Lounge. Might be wondering, what the hell is this Lama Lounge? So this is us just trying to do something slightly off the ball, so to speak. Get a lot more people involved in our live chat, live debate, and that's what tonight's show is all about. It's about rivalry, if I can pronounce it correctly. So hope everyone's doing well. I want you all to get involved if you can this evening, just via the live text chat, because you may have some questions that you want to ask our guests this evening. The other thank you that I want to quickly say is a thank you to Hero Wild. You'll see his name underneath the couch in the Lama Lounge picture there in front of you. He was the guy that created the picture there, and I just want to say a massive thanks to him and to Dre Zira, the one and only. Right, got a couple of guests for you tonight. When we look at FPL rivals, when we look at rivals in the past, we've had some belters. We've had Fraser versus Ali. You've had the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. You've had Palmer versus Nicholas, Popeye versus Bluto, He-Man versus Skeletor, Tom versus Jerry. But tonight, on tonight's show, what we've got is our very own FPL Boona and Davey P. Good evening, lads.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are yous both doing this evening? Are yous doing alright?
Absolutely buzzing, mate.
Aye, same.
Good. I'm looking forward to tonight. So just let us do a bit of background about this episode that we're going to go for tonight. So some people may be familiar with Sky Sports and the debate show that's on there, and they may be familiar with The Gloves Are Off. This is FPL's version of The Gloves Are Off, and I don't even know where this started, but let's try and go back a little bit further than that first. So I know, looking at your two histories, you've been playing FPL for a while. What made you get into it, Boona? What made you get into FPL?
I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago myself when I first played like a Sun Dream Team for a World Cup, and that's kind of where my interest in fantasy sport started. And then I found out about Fantasy Premier League, and you know, the rest was history. Like Davey P this season.
Oh, it started already. I thought you were going to play nice for a little bit, but you're just going straight for the jugular. What about you, Davey? I see you've got... In fact, let's just put Boona straight, shall we, Davey? You've actually been playing FPL longer than what Boona has. But what made you get into FPL?
It was cash mini leagues, really. I got invited to a few of them through work and friends, and they got really competitive and addictive. I think I won the first and second cash mini leagues I had, and I kind of got a bit like competitive, but like maintained my unbeaten record in these cash mini leagues. So that was me, really, season on season.
Ah, okay. So
until they got fed up with me winning it all the time, so they closed the cash mini league to me.
Oh dear, I can see this is going to be eventful, and I'm just trying to build it up slowly here. So let's roll forward a little bit. I know that when Jason and Steve-O first put Elite FPL together as a concept and first started uploading onto YouTube, I think, Boona, you were probably one of the first members to actually join in, basically, and I don't think I was too far behind you. And then, not far after me, Davey, I think you ended up joining the gang. And then Discord happened this season, probably, what was that, around about May, June time?
Yeah, I think it was in the summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the summer.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think when I joined, there was only about 200 or 300 subscribers to the channel, and on a weekly basis, Elite FPL were getting about 15, 20 viewers. So obviously, since then things have massively evolved. So massive well done to these guys. They've absolutely smashed it, and they're slowly starting to get the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you mentioned it the other day there when we were doing the live, like the Lama Lounge, but we were doing a live watch along. That when we first came into Discord, and Davey, I think you were there as well, quite near the start. There probably was only about 50 or 60 of us in there. And already now on Discord, 24 hours a day, there's up to about 1,300 people in there. It's a crazy thing, as Dre would say. Right, so Davey, you've already touched on it. So you kind of got involved through work kind of cash leagues and mini leagues, and we know Steve-O, because he batters on about it quite a fair bit, about how he's dead interested in the cash leagues and stuff like that, and that's kind of one of his sole interests. What floats your boat, Boona? Is it cash, or is it overall rank?
Well, as we'll go on to see with, history in overall ranks in previous seasons, unlike David, overall ranks have always been my prime aim. And 2 seasons ago, I started running a work cash mini league, which ended this year because both previous seasons I absolutely smashed everyone. So this year they weren't so keen. But, now we've got this rivalry and a few others which we'll talk about, as we go on. And that's kind of what keeps me going, cash and overall. Yeah.
What about you, Davey? Where are you seeing it? Is it overall rank or cash or a bit of both?
I've never really played for overall rank. It's always been like a third sort of objective.
I can tell by your history.
Yeah, I've always kind of played to be quite high up in mini leagues, and I've always played to maybe better my seasons gone past in terms of overall rank, but it's never been my primary thing. So I think my highest overall finish was about 56k, and my goal, one of my goals this season is to try and beat that, but it's not my main goal.
I think I know what your main goal is this year.
It is unrealistic.
Oh, So, this year, used to, can you pinpoint a game week where this started, or is it something that started even before the season had kicked off? Let's start delving into this 1-to-1 rivalry that the two yous have got, and then we'll have a look at some stats and all the rest of it, and then we'll start taking some feedback from our viewers as well. See if there's anything they want to chip in.
Let's take a step back. So in terms of the rivalry itself, I believe, David, correct me if I'm wrong, this started literally a week or two just before the season started.
Yeah.
Let's not do Jack Brewer, aka Brew, the dishonour. He is part of this rivalry, although I don't consider him to be a rival. Yeah, unfortunately, flaked tonight for a work dinner. But it's a 3-way rivalry between myself, Brew, and Davey P. It started about a week before the season, and I think the last few weeks it's really kind of become a lot more fierce. I don't know what your thoughts are, Davey.
Yeah, I think it's got more competitive as the seasons went on. It wasn't originally Brew in the bet. I think it was just me and you, and then you had a side bet with Brew, and then we decided to sort of combine the 3 bets into like a 3-way bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I thought it was going to be... I know that yous have been bantering since prior to the season starting, but I thought it was probably more so around about game week 7. I think Dre's just joined in, but he's got the stream playing. If you're alright, Dre, just to mute that in the background, pal, that'd be great. Yeah, what I was saying there was, I thought it was game week 7. Because on game week 7 you had Boona. At that time you were ranked just over 1 million, and Davey P was round about the 900,000th mark. And if I cast my mind back, that's kind of where the banter started.
Yeah, absolutely. Those days long ago now, when Davey P used to be ahead of me, singing his own praises. I mean, even till this day, he kind of, wants to remind me that, Boona, 18 game weeks I was ahead of you, because that counts for anything. But yeah, I think you were right. It was around game week 7.
I think it's roughly the same time we both wildcarded as well. It's not long after we both wildcarded.
Yeah, that's what my head's telling me. Right, do you want me to hit you with some stats?
Hit the audience with all the stats.
Right. So what I've done is, as I was saying, Davey, you've probably been playing in FPL about 3 seasons more than what Boona has. So, in fairness of a proper head-to-head for proper stats, we're only looking at the seasons where you have both played, which I think's season 14-15, right up until the game week that has just passed. Boona, I'm going to ask you, what do you think Davey P's average overall rank is, if you were to add all those game weeks together? What do you think it is?
About 500k.
Okay. Davey, do you want to take a guess at your own?
I'd say top $250,000.
Okie dokie. Davey, your average...
Should we get the audience involved?
You can get the... Right, okay, let's get the audience involved with that one then. So, we're looking at 6 seasons worth of stats. So, 5 seasons... Wait there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 5 seasons and 27 game weeks of this season. What do you think Davey P and Boona's average overall rank is out of all those game weeks? So, you're looking at 217 game weeks, by the way, if you're putting that into perspective.
Are these all predictions coming through for Davey, and then?
Yeah, we'll start with Davey first. What do we think? So, put in the chat what you think Davey P's average is over 217 game weeks.
Oh, Simon Bellamy is selling me short here.
Simon Bellamy knows his stuff.
I'm going to have to get him an Uber to go home.
Right, well, calculator out.
Right, so Paulie's definitely got a calculator out if he's going bang into 460k. What about your...
Simon Bellamy's misconstrued the question. He wasn't asking what Davey's overall rank's going to be this season, Si.
So Davey, I'll ask you first. What do you think Boona's is? So over the same time frame, 217 game weeks, what do you think his average OR is?
About 180k, 200k.
Considering that my worst rank is 178k.
Well, and maybe I misjudged that one a little.
And Boona, back to you. What do you think your own overall rank is, average?
About 45k.
Jesus. You think you're very good at this game, don't you?
No, I mean, I've not played it that many seasons.
Yeah. Right, guys, let's put in the chat what you think Boona's average is as an overall rank. Let's see what you reckon. Interested to see.
100k from Simon Bellamy, 80k for Chelsea Flyer.
I'll send you the money tomorrow morning, Bilal.
Right, let's put everyone out their misery. So Davey P, over 217 game weeks, your average is 382,000th. Boona, 85k.
I demand a recount.
That's pretty decent though, to be fair. Over five plus seasons. Do you know what's interesting though? See, when you actually delve further into it, which, as you can imagine, I was always going to do that, your average points per game week. What do you think yours is, Boona?
About 60, well no, about 56, 57.
Yeah, pretty decent attempt. 58. 58 is your average. What about you, Davey? What do you reckon yours is?
I think mine's is probably around about the same, to be honest, or close to it.
It is. That's the weird thing. It is much of a muchness. 55 points yours averages, and 58 for you, Boona.
Mine's 56.
58, yeah.
So that's a 3-point difference. But if you do 3 times 38 game weeks, that's 114 points I've finished ahead of Davey P every single season.
Starting to boil up now, lads.
I don't think it's mine. I think that's quite a bit.
So if you were playing head to head over the last 5 seasons, Boona, you'd be 4-1 up.
Light work. Never in doubt though, was it? But Davey P's got all his chips, so it's okay.
So when we look at your overall rank, so as you say, Davey, I think you actually mentioned it earlier on, 56k is your best rank that you've had.
Yeah.
And Boona, I think yours was just last season, pal, at 3k.
Yeah, my highest rank was last season, 3.2k. I made a jump from 9.7k to 3.2k on the last game week, actually.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. So when did all the side betting start?
Where do we start?
Well, this is where I'm just going to hand it over to you to just grab a bit of popcorn, because it started off quite lightheartedly from my view in WhatsApp. It started off quite early, and you know, it was just a few bit friendly jibes here and there. The next thing, money started getting put on the table, and that was when I was like, oh, here we go, things are getting serious. So when did that start, and where are we at?
There's more than money on the table. There's more than money on the table now.
Yeah, so at the start of the season, we put a three-person bet forward, myself, Brew, and Davey, £50 each. So obviously the winner gets £100 from the other two altogether. And also we've decided that the winning manager gets to change the other two managers' FPL team names for next season to one of their choice. So that's the bet that we've got between us three. Aside from that, we've got Matt Brunton, a regular in the Elite FPL Discord and YouTube live streams, has also bet me £200 that Davey P will finish above me. So that's £300 I'll be getting. And then we've got Philip also betting that Davey P will finish above me, another 50 quid. So yeah, the bets have definitely accumulated over the season. And although we don't encourage betting, you know, I'm still open to bets. So if there's anyone wanting to back the underdog or the underdog Davey P, you know, get in my DMs.
What do you make of all this, Davey? How much have you put on the line, actually? Because I know Boona's opened up about, well, as he says there, there's about 7 or 8 bets that he's involved in. What about you? How much are you involved in?
I'm just keeping it simple with just the 50 quid. For me, from my point of view.
Ah, okay.
I'd much rather have the satisfaction of beating Boona at the end of the season than having winning lots of bets. You know what I mean? Like there's bets and then there's important bets.
You're not going to beat me though, are you, Davey?
Oh, you were worried.
You're playing styles too boring, pal. You're playing styles too boring.
Right.
You're not aggressive enough to beat me.
Boona, you bring up my next point, to be honest. You must have read my script for this evening. So we've kind of touched on the rivalry, where it all started, where it stemmed from, how yous have done in the previous, how yous are getting on, you know, on average up until this moment in time. Don't mean to sound like, don't any of the two of yous take this disrespectfully by any manner of means. But the way I see it, and this has just been hanging about in the hangouts, I would say, Davey, you're more stat orientated, possibly, than what Boona is. So the next thing that I was wanting to kind of ask the two of you is, what kind of FPL player are you, and and from that, what gives you the edge over the other? Like, if that's
first, Davey?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it, pal.
So, as Boona likes to say, I'm a boring when it comes to transfers. I like to have... There's 3 things that I look for. I look for form, I look for fixtures, and I look for history in the game. So I don't make reckless moves. I don't bring in a player. I wouldn't bring in a player like Bruno Fernandes because he doesn't have any history in FPL. Whereas
Form, history, and fixtures. You didn't mention heat maps, heat bups, stats, nothing like that.
Those are sub things. They come into it. When it comes to like history and past games, that comes with like the history side of things.
So see, right, okay, so I'm meant to be sitting here completely impartial, right? And I'm not shooting you down at all, Davey, by any stretch, obviously. But you're mentioning there about history and looking at history, etc., right? Already when we've went through the overall rank, you said history doesn't matter with that. So does history really matter?
Yeah, look, for player selection, for transfers alone, but actually picking that player in your FPL team, history matters, how those players performed in the past. I mean, who would bring in Shane Long?
You mean the player that scored last game week?
Yeah, but how many other game weeks has he scored in?
Well, he scored 1 out of 2 for me. That's all I care about, mate. How many points did you score last game week?
It's 1 game week. You wouldn't back Shane Long all season.
I'm not going to back him all season. I don't need to back him all season, Dave. He's going to be out for me maybe next week.
So that's the thing that, I mean, I know, and like this is a debate obviously between the two of you, you know, to go through the rivalry that the two of you have built, and it's been and it still will continue to be a really good rivalry, and all of us in Discord enjoy the banter that we're getting on a day-to-day basis by the two of you, to be honest. So I know that that's going to keep going. I've mentioned this to you before, and there's many great websites out there and FPL stat sites and stuff like that, but I've held my hands up. Last season, that total melted my head. I was taking in too much information, and I actually kind of cocked up my season a little bit, although I still finished fairly strong. So do you fear that happening, Davey, if you're constantly drilling into stats on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis?
No, because I'm like, it comes from the eye test first. The eye test is always the most important thing, and then stats are second to either back up what you're seeing or disprove what you're seeing. And for me, it's risk versus reward. That's what I'm trying to balance constantly with every transfer I make. But sometimes you get these 50-50 calls where they're like, you're not quite sure. And those are the ones I tend to I've got wrong more often than not this season, which is why Buna's in front of me. That's the only reason he's in front of me this season.
Oh, right. Let's leave that thought there now, because that's what we're going to be battering back with. Buna, what about you, mate? So I know Davey holds his hands up. He is definitely looking at heat baps on a weekly basis. What about yourself? What floats your boat on a week-to-week basis?
In comparison to Davey, I'd consider myself more of someone that plays the game a bit more aggressively. I prefer the eye test, but it's kind of got to go hand in hand with fixtures. Yeah, I prefer fixtures over form personally, and that's what I target. But you know me, I'm never afraid to take a hit. I mean, this season alone, I've made, let's have a quick look at how many transfers I've made. I have made 42 transfers, so I've taken about 15 or 16 hits, so a total of minus 60 or 70. So yeah, I'm not afraid to make transfers. I'm not afraid to take hits, and I feel that's what's worked for me in previous seasons, and that's what I'll continue to do. Taken a -4 already this week, and I've got a -8 planned for next week.
There you go, Davey. He's laying it out on the table for you, pal. Where's your head at now?
Yeah, it hits. Loads of people play that way. Doesn't always pay. I don't think it has paid for Buna off this season. I think it's failed more often than not, which is why he's the rank that he is compared to last season and his history. He's made more mistakes this season than he has got it right. If that trend continues, then he'll hit his way past me in the opposite direction.
I mean, I'm on quite the upward trajectory right now, so I'm not too sure what you're referring to there, Mr. Davey P. But to put things into context, game week 12-13, I was around the million mark. Now I'm just outside the 100k. I don't think that's too bad going, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, your green arrow win last week anyway.
Yep, half my rank last game week. We've got a statement from Mr. Brew in the chat. Do we want to bring Dre Zero in to see if he can read this out for us?
Of course, definitely get him in.
He's not in the waiting room, however. So
yeah, I did say that to him.
I will leave that to you, Mr. Lama.
Yeah, I was saying that to him in chat there. Dre, if you want to come in to represent Brew, by all means join the waiting room, and then we'll get you in. So shall we move to where we are now? In terms of the up-and-coming game week, anyone wanting to reveal any strats or anything? I mean, right, so, well, I'm assuming, do you know what, I was going to say, I'm assuming you don't mind, but sod the two of yous. I'm just going to read your teams out. So...
Have you got my team up with transfers?
No. I will leave, what I'll do is I'll leave that to you. If you want to reveal what transfers you have made, then that's entirely up to you. So, game week 27, Buna, we'll start with you. 82 points scored. McCarthy with 7, Lundstrom with 1, Trent with 10, Saiss with 11, Mahrez with 8, captain of Mane with 16, De Bruyne 3, Martial 8. I feel like the fucking... Well, there you go, there's the first £3 in. I feel like, you know,
Let's
the guy...
fucking have it.
Do you know, like, the guy that's reading out the scores? Salah 7, Ings 2. And then you've got Shane Long up top with 9. And at the moment on your bench, you've got Button, Williams, Lascelles, and Martinelli. I knew I was going to muck up one of the names.
Who's that, Lama?
Also...
Repeat that for me.
Oh, I don't. It's Walder Weldham, alright? I think that's a fairly strong team, Davey. Alright, sorry, but no.
I'll tell you what I've done really well this season is my team value this season. I've never really focused on it, but what I have managed to do is really avoid leaving any value on the bench. So that's why my points on the bench this season, in comparison to most people, are significantly less. And I think that's kind of worked well for me. I think I've only had about 60, 70 points on my bench all season. And I've seen people with teams, with 200 plus.
Yeah, no, that's a fair comment. So, I mean, all I was going to say was, and I would say it behind your back as well. I think your team's fairly strong, to be honest. I did say to you the other week there about Ings and Long. I was like, "What? Where is your head?" I thought he's just lost it. But to be fair to you, it's actually worked out not too bad. Davey, what are you thinking? And you can be honest or just say it as it is. What do you think of his team?
One thing our strategies have in common is that we both don't leave a lot of value on the bench. We maximise the funds in our starting 11, maybe first sub, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Boona, this point here is entirely up to you. So I've already read your
I can
team
tell you
out.
my transfers.
On you go
I
then,
can tell
pal.
you my transfers. I'm not a Davey P. I'm not afraid to tell people my team. I say it, I'll put it out there. I've made 2 transfers this game week. I have got rid of, get your eyes ready and perked.
Got you.
Got rid of KDB. I've got rid of Martinelli. I've brought in the Vardy party. Madison for a -4.
Right, this is only my opinion, and then we'll obviously go to Davey P's. I think to me, they make sense. And I know there'll be a lot of people in chat just now, what are you doing, getting rid of KDB? And we all know he blanks, but it's like, what are you doing? You're just going to get him straight back in. Blah, blah, blah. But I like it. I'm all for that. And we're not here to, give tips out and all the rest of it. We ain't a tipping site. Elite FPL's that's not the way we're made up. Do you know what I mean? I like it. What about you, Davey? What are you saying?
I can see why he's done it, because Leicester have some nice fixtures, but they're coming off the back of absolutely zero form, especially Vardy. And Norwich have they're not that bad at home. Overall, their record defensively is poor, but their home and away form's really, really different. And at home, Liverpool only managed to score 1 goal against them, and Liverpool are a lot better team than Leicester. So I can't see that game bringing Boona lots and lots of points, and he's doing it for a hit and doubled up on their attack.
So let's be honest. Let's be honest, Dave. You're absolutely rattled. You've been saying it all week. This is the most nervous you've felt all season, and this is the week that could absolutely destroy any chance that you have to overtake me.
I'm taking a calculated risk that
nervous.
The game won't. A little bit, only because Boona's team on paper is a lot stronger than mine. But then again, in the previous game week, my team on paper was a lot stronger than Boona's, and Boona got 82 points. He outscored me by 20 points. So if the roles are reversed this game week, it's entirely possible.
Let's dive into yours then, shall we, Davey? Thanks. I was just about to say to you, Boona, there to bring Dre in. Don't know why he's on mute though. That's fine though. He can come in after this. So, right, Davey, let's run through your team, pal, shall we? So, Henderson in goal. So Henderson in goal with 2 points. Let's go back a step, Stevie. 62 points. Henderson with 2, Doherty with 10, Trent with 10, Van Dijk with 1, Grealish with 1, Captain Salah 14, De Bruyne 3, Traore 1, Ings 2, Jimenez 5, and Obama Boomerang 13. And I noticed that Dan's in chat. He must have been chuffed to bits with the Boomerang at the weekend there. And on your bench, you've got McGovern, Bertrand, 6 points on your bench, Davey. That must have stung. You've got Boona's player as well there with 1 point, and Hayden on 0. So 62, I think I ended up with 68 or something like that. But I would have said anything above 60 is a solid week last week. I know you're still behind Boona at the moment, but have you done any transfers next week?
Yes, I have.
Do you wish to reveal? And it's up to you, there's no pressure.
Well, I've done Van Dijk to Robertson.
Oh, okay.
And I've done Henderson to Nick Pope for Burnley.
Sideways.
Interesting. Why have you, just out of interest, why have you moved on Henderson? Now, I know that he blanks twice, but do you not think Henderson's a good choice just to have for the rest of the season, bearing in mind bench boosts and stuff?
Yes and no. I needed to get rid of Henderson just for this week, because just to field the full 11, and then after game week 29, he's got, which is a nice fixture, Norwich at home, he's got Newcastle, Man United, Tottenham. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, he's going to blank in 31. He's not going to have a fixture. And I want to avoid playing the free hit. 31.
Can I just say, Davey, we've got a few comments in the chat. Simon Bellamy sideways, Chelsea Flyer sideways, Bilal sideways, Chelsea Flyer poor transfers. What you got to say about that?
Well, they all said the same thing when I had double Leicester defence at the start of the season. We all know how that worked out.
To be fair, that Leicester double defence, I did slate you for that at the start of the season, and then kind of ate my own words, to be honest, as I watched you climb the ranks.
Yeah, I sometimes I get like I don't know. It's kind of like what Buna said. Sometimes you just get like intuition, like a gut feeling about like a certain transfer, like what Buna had like with Roman Saiz last week. He didn't even know like he had great underlying stats before I even told him that we already made the transfer. He didn't even know that. He's attacking to it.
I did literally bring him in. It was more his pricing. It was literally his pricing. I didn't even have a look at his. No, you're quite right. I didn't look at his stats.
Every now and again, every FPL player gets something like that, and they'll just get a moment of pure magic in FPL where everything just, all the stars align and it all works out. But some people try and chase that. But it's usually it's a transfer they don't really put much meaning into it. Like with me with double Leicester defence, I just did it because Emerson was injured and I had a feeling about Chilwell. He had good fixtures, he had a bit of form towards the end of last season. Leicester were a bit of a risk. Everyone slated me for it, and then they ended up like getting clean sheet after clean sheet, and then Chilwell got like a 19, 20 point haul against Southampton.
So like what we were saying earlier there, and Davey, I think it was yourself that touched on the fact that you try and look at like the fixtures and stuff like that. And I know we've said that Elite's definitely not one of those channels that'll try and give you, you know, like, oh, you must pick this player, you must pick that player, because that's just not how we work. But you were saying there that you would look at possibly, 6 game weeks in advance. Is that something that you do as well, Buna? Do you look that far ahead, or...?
Before we answer that, just an update. Watching this game on the TV, Laporte's going off injured. He looks like he's going to be carried off.
Oh dear.
Fernandinho is coming on. I mean, Davies preempted and moved away from Laporte last game. That seems to have gone well. But in answer to your question, yeah, I look at the game in batches of 4 to 6 game weeks in terms of when I'm choosing my players. And that's one of the reasons I didn't go full on with Wolves attackers this week. Not only because they're playing Spurs and I'm going to the game, but also I feel like it's a game in which they may not go gun-ho. But yeah, from next game week 29 onwards, Wolves' run is great, so I'll be targeting them, and I may even triple up on Leicester. But 4 to 6 game weeks is kind of what I focus on.
Yeah, I think that's... if there's anything I've learned in a few seasons, that's probably about it, is to try and plan 4 to 6 weeks ahead of yourself where possible. But for me personally, what I'm finding easier or better is just the eye test and try and stay away from all these stats and stuff like that. And I'm not dissing them because they're obviously there for a reason, but it just melted my head last year, so that was my reasoning for staying away from it. Davey, there's one thing that you have not said in the past, whatever this has been going on for, 40 minutes maybe, something like that?
He's trying hard.
Yeah. Do you want to tell him what he's not said? Or David? Because I think that's this season could boil down to the statement that you make first thing in the morning before you've even boiled a kettle.
What, the fact that I've still got one more chip than Buna?
I've still got all my
you've got
chips.
all your chips.
Is that what are you betting? If we're going to edge your bets, is that what you're edging your bets on?
I think the longer that I have that chip coming in towards the end of the season, if the gap's not very small, just say it drops to within a couple of points, or we're level on points going into the last couple of game weeks. I've got that chip. If I use it, you can't catch me.
Have you got that chip still, Davey?
He's having a look for it.
Yeah, I'm just making sure it's there and you've not stolen it. But yeah, if it's
that chip's not going to help you, mate. This game week, after this game week finishes, you're going to be 50 plus points behind, and it'll be curtains.
You've been saying that for a while, and it never happened.
Oh no, the game week's taking forever to start.
What's the closest that you two have actually got to each other?
Well, Davey's been 80 points ahead of me. I'm currently
80?
26. Yeah, I'm currently 26 ahead.
Wow, that's a bit of a turnaround, Davey.
I think that's the furthest you've been in front of me as well, 26 points. You've never had a bigger gap.
Yeah.
20, 25, 26 points. Maybe 30 at a push this season.
No, it has. It went up to 47, but you quickly clawed it back.
So does that? Are you shitting it now then, Boona? Does that? Because it can be done. He's proved that he can do it.
No, not at all. I don't think he's got the skill levels required to overtake me now, and I don't think his team doesn't really worry me either. I think I've got this in the bag.
My team doesn't worry you. You're talking about a -8 to bring players into your team that I already have.
Like who?
Jimenez, Doherty.
Yeah, not because you've got them, because I like their fixtures.
Exactly.
Is that a bit of shielding, Boona? Is that a little bit of shielding going on from you?
No, not at all. I bring players into my team based on fixtures, whether my rivals have them or not. I don't really care. It doesn't make no difference to me. But I'm not going to neglect a player just because a rival's got him. That's just stupidity. It's like saying, "Oh, Davey's got Salah, so I'm not going to get Salah." Like, you'd be stupid to do that. There's 11 players in your team and 15 in the squad. There's enough positions to get differentials. Why would I neglect a player like Jimenez, who has such great fixtures, just because he's got them?
No, I totally hear you. I mean, I've got a mate in one of my mini leagues who, like me, is a Man United supporter, and he won't put any Liverpool players in his team. I was like, well, that's you basically surrendered this mini league then, isn't it? Right, guys,
We've got Dre unmuted now.
I was just about to say that, so I was going to say to the chat if there's any... I think we've kind of went through a good chunk of the questions that we had this evening, and the chat that's here may wish to ask both of you, or one of you in particular. However, on chat now, who we've got is a guy called Dre Zera, who is he's an absolute gem of a guy. Joined Discord possibly 2 or 3 months ago, I believe. And what a difference he's made already, just in pure, just the way he is. He's, such a guy to have. Now, this rivalry between the two of you, and I know, Boona, you touched on it, Brew ended up getting done on it. Now, Brew unfortunately can't join us this evening, but I believe Dre has got a pre-written statement from Brew, just to add that third dimension into the debate, whilst the chat get any questions that they might have for you. Over to you, Dre.
Can you all hear me?
Can hear you just, yep.
Marvellous. So, basically, I am Dre Z, Devin Anderson, and I have got the following statement. Hello, and my name is Devin Anderson, the attorney of Mr. Brew McYid Esquire. Brew would like to plead not guilty. Unfortunately, he is unable to attend this expedite meeting due to trial work arrangements. He would like to state that he is the dark horse of the triad that is Boona and Davey B, and he would love it if you would beat them. Love it. He believes he is far superior both in male appeal and in FPL management, in order to quell both their points to hell. And that is the statement from his attorney.
Wow, what a statement Brew's made there. I think, Dre, you might have had a little bit of input into that statement, if you don't mind me saying. Well, guys, you've heard where Brew's at. What do you make of that?
Just gone into one ear and out the other. Brew's not a rival.
Yeah, Brew's not a rival.
Oh dear, Dre, they were pretty harsh there, Dre.
Goodness. Well, basically, guys, Devin Anderson's just left the building. It's just Dre Zero now. Devin has just torn up his attorney papers and is expecting big money from Brew for wasting his time. But I have got I've got a question for Boona and a question to Davey. So can I say a question to Boona if that's okay?
Of course you can.
Okay, here's my question to Boona. Boona, do you believe that Davey should have played more of a Maverick kind of way in the earlier game weeks, where he should have been out of sight and out of mind because he was quite a bit ahead at the time, instead of you, Boona, being 26 points ahead? What's your answer to that, Boona?
No, I would not. I would never tell anyone to play a game that's not their game. I've always said hashtag, gee whizzers coined the term hashtag play your own game, and I'm a big believer of that. And I'm sure Davies played his game and gone with his gut at the times, and that's why. 26 points is not a lot of points. Let's be real. So that's why he's still within touching distance of me, and I don't think he should have played any other way. No.
Okay, I have a question for Davey. Davey, would you feel that your triple captain chip that you have over Boona is vital to your goal of finishing on top, or are you more thinking about small gains for each game week for the overall result that you want?
To be honest, I'm not really considering the triple captaincy chip. It's there, I have it. I'd rather use it. I'm thinking about using it effectively rather than just blindly using it to try and hunt down Boona or overtake him, whatever you want. But for me, I'm taking a wildcarded a few weeks ago. I'm quite happy with my team. I'm averaging above 60 points since the wild card. 3 green arrows since the wild card. I'm not taking any hits, whereas Boona's taking lots of hits. I'm not making many transfers either, which means human error is going to come into play. And I think because of that, the human error, that eventually Boona will make a transfer that will cost him a lot of points.
I can't wait to replay that particular sentence at the end of this season.
You're gonna click that, Boona, and be like, remember this, remember that night Lama went and ran this.
Write down. 26th of February, and we're about 40 minutes in. I'm just gonna write this down.
So Simon Bellamy's got a belter for you, Boona.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's actually for the two of you, but I'm going to direct it at you. But Davey, by all means, chip in. How are you getting on in the Champions League that was set up? The Elite Champions League?
I think I'm third at the moment. I've still got a chance at qualifying. A big shout out to FPL Mechanic though. He is just having a brilliant season. Some of the transfers he's making are just insane. And he's playing a very good game. His game's a very good game, and he's doing very well. But getting the double over One Rover's blogs, Mr. Crinkle Cut, Chris Packett was quite a sweet moment for me.
Yeah, your group. So again, thank you to Firetog. I'm actually going to do one of these lounges with Firetog, whether it's live or pre-recorded, and we'll actually dip into the Champions League in more detail, and then try and get them actually pumped out on a weekly basis. As long as we're all, crossing our toes that my PC doesn't decide to fry itself again. But yeah, Davey, just quickly looking at your group now. Yeah, you got FPL Mechanic sitting there on 16 points and Vish behind on 15. And then there's a gap then between yourself and Charlie, both on 9. What have we got? 3 left? 3 left, is it? 4? 3 or 4?
I think it's 4. I've got 3 games left, yeah, I think.
What about you, Boona? Are you wanting to comment on your group?
Yeah, actually, yeah, Boona, how are you doing in the Champions League?
As Jose Mourinho once famously said, I prefer not to speak.
Is that how he said it, was it?
No, probably not, but it's a little bit better than Cilantro.
Cilantro's a belting name, so's Wonderweldum.
Yeah, no, well, I've not been very good in the Champions League, but my luck hasn't been in either. This week I was the second highest scorer in the whole of the Elite Champions League if we do it by leaderboard in terms of everyone that's in the tournament, and I got outscored by the player in third. Work that one out. But yeah, that tournament's dead to me. So
yeah,
next
thanks.
Question.
Yeah, thanks for that, Boona. I mean, we, Firetog and I and Jason as well have put a lot of effort into that league. And you're just panning it in 2 minutes. You cock.
We'll revisit that next season.
Paulie's got a good question here to the two of yous. So Paulie's question is, what are your best and worst mistakes so far this season? So what's the best move that you have made, and what's the worst move that you have made? Davey, I'll let you start with this one if you want, pal.
So my best move was the week before Leicester hammered Southampton, because that week I did, before even a ball had been kicked the game week before, I did Tammy to Vardy instantly. And then I already had Chilwell and Soyuncu like from my wild card the previous couple of weeks. So that having that triple up on Leicester for that game week was ridiculous, because I think you took a -12 that week. So like before even a ball was kicked, I was 60 points in front of you before any of your players.
When was that?
The Southampton 9-0. I think there was a 60-point swing in my favour that game week.
Can't remember what game week that was. If anyone remembers the Southampton 9-0, let me have a quick look. Actually, I don't think I took a massive hit. Actually, one sec. Let me see.
You have taken a couple of -12s though, to be fair, Bruno.
Just the one.
I think it was
game week 10.
So what's the worst move you've made, Davey?
Game week 10, I took a -8. Yeah.
Yeah, I did take a big hit. So my worst move, I think it would be Brindabell game week 17-18. I'm trying to think. I think getting in Son, I think I took a few hits towards Christmas, making the wrong transfers, not getting in Danny Ings, I'd probably say springs to mind, and keeping and doing the hokey cokey with Abraham rather than just getting Danny Ings. Just 50-50 calls that I got wrong over Christmas.
Christmas is such a difficult time of the season though. Anyone that's new to playing FPL, if this was their first season, they would have found that pretty tough, I would have thought. It's just relentless.
I went against my own advice. I went against my own strategy over Christmas. I made the foolish mistake of thinking that these players can't keep it up, that Danny Ings was going to break down like a bag of glass, bag of paper, whatever you want to call it. And just you couldn't keep it up, but you just kept keeping it up. Same with Grealish. I didn't think he'd keep it up because he was a new player to the division, and I completely ignored getting him in. I kind of stayed true. I had a bit of Chelsea bias in there, team bias, which is something I don't recommend anybody does. Don't have your team goggles on because it will just punish you in FPL. Isn't that right, Gunnar?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I can hardly talk. Team bias has really messed me up this season. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, I've had Kane in for long periods of the season, captained him quite a few times for his blanks, and it's definitely been part of why I'm not doing as well as I have in previous seasons. But you know, there's still time to make that up.
So, just same question from Paulie to yourself then, Buna. Over this year, what do you think's the best move that you've made, and what do you think the worst is?
My best move and my worst move coincided almost, in the sense that my best move was game week 17. My worst move was game week 18. My best in game week 17 because I triple captained Salah at home to Watford for his brace, yielding a nice 48 points. As a result of that, I got a bit cocky, got a bit excited. I took a stupid -12 in game week 18.
Yeah, I remembered you doing that, and I was like, "What a fanny! What is he doing?"
I was loving life. Like, I was absolutely loving it when that happened.
Which backfired horrendously, because from scoring 94 points during that triple captain game week and a game week rank of 47k, I then went to a low of 33 points and -12, that's 21, and a game week score of 5 million. So all that hard work from going from 233k down to 69k, I undid it and went all the way back up to 183k.
You were lucky that game because I had a bad game week that week as well.
Ah, okay. Dre, for some reason, has posted a question in the chat and he's in the lounge. So Dre, just ask your question out straight, pal.
Hello, hi. My question is to Davey P. Davey, if you beat Boona, do you believe that beating Boona is a massive achievement, considering Boona's better FPL history, or is it something that you, in inverted commas, expect due to your confidence in your own ability?
I don't expect to beat anybody in FPL because that's disrespectful to your rivals, your friends, your colleagues, people that you chat FPL with. I think that's incredibly disrespectful. So I wouldn't say that. I'd say that it would be a good achievement because I can lord it over him all of next season because his team name will be something still really, really silly that I'll change it to.
Yeah, money's one thing, but changing your FPL team name, I'm not so sure I'm up on that one, to be honest. Yeah, Gabrielle's saying to you, Boona, in chat there, that with the Champions League back-to-back 1-point losses was a bit of a kick in the teeth for you. Nice to see that we've got Mr. Block FPL's decided to join us in the Lama Lounge this evening. Good evening, Block. How are you?
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. What you saying to it? You alright?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Good. Is there any questions that you want to bring to the table? So we're looking at Boona and Davy P's head-to-head and the rivalry that they've built up over the course of this season. Is there anything you want to chip in? Anything you want to ask them?
I just wanted to mention that, I think both of these guys are great players and, they dedicate time to an effort. But I feel like whenever Davy, he'll suggest things for me to do whenever he, tries to give me advice and stuff. I just feel like it's always incorrect. So whenever he says,
Oh my!
So no.
Jesus, Block, you're
Say
worse.
what?
Block, you.
Wait. Let me explain. He'll mention something and then he'll just get really unlucky. So now, if I see him say "Oh, Block, you should do this," I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not doing that.
I don't think
Wow.
I don't think I've ever told you to do this. I think
No, you don't. No, it's just
I've never said get this player. I've never said captain.
Yeah, no. Exactly.
I basically give you a perspective to what you're currently thinking, just to make things you look at things a different way. I don't really.
One sec. I'm just gonna get my popcorn. One sec.
Mate,
No,
honestly.
That's the best thing about Davy P is that he sees things completely differently than I do. So I'll hear a completely different perspective on it, which is why I like. But no, with the Tammy Abraham thing, where I was just oh yeah, I'll get him, and you won't ever hold a strong position because you're not gonna just say something based on no evidence. But I just wanted to come say that recently
You just came in and lobbed a grenade, and Dan did it in the Llama Lounge the other day, and now you've just come in and launched another one.
I'm just throwing it out there, but no, I think it'll be interesting to see who wins out of these two.
Who are you backing, Block?
Well, it's not going to be me, is it?
I think I gotta back Davy P because.
Oh, interesting.
What?
Interesting.
Just because
Curveball.
Because wait, Boona's ahead right now, right?
Yeah,
One sec, what's your Twitter handle? I need to what's your Twitter handle? I need to unfollow you. One sec, Block.
Just because Boona loves to take risks. So I don't know how good he is going to be playing from the front. It's against his typical style. So maybe he takes a risk too much, and then falls behind. That's the only reason I say that. I mean, he's a good hit taker. Don't get me wrong. I feel like if I was as aggressive as him, I wouldn't do well. But that's just I got to pick one. So I'm going with AVP.
Interestingly enough, though, we ran a poll, or I stuck a poll up just not long before my PC blew up in Discord. Then I managed to get the PC fixed. But looking at it now, they've got Boona ahead at the moment by probably 12-5. So yeah, good bit ahead at the moment, Boona, over DVP. I don't know, I think that means anything, though, to be fair.
You know what? I was gonna compliment Block's season this season, but I don't think I will anymore.
Oh, come on, man.
So what's your view on things then, Block? Because if you were listening earlier, basically stripping the two of the guys back, that sounds so wrong, but stripping the guys both back, you're right in what you're saying. Davy P definitely looks at more stats, heat maps, that type of stuff. His decisions are more focused, perhaps. But Buna's not a mug. Definitely not a mug. You know, so he'll take more risks than what Davey has. The risks tend to pay off at times. What about you? What are you? Are you a kind of mixture of the two, or is it eye test only? How do you? What's your kind of view on things?
Well, the thing that differentiates me from, I feel like most people, is just like eye test and fixture based, sort of the way I look at things, like seeing which teams do well against which other teams. But mainly just from watching all the games. If I can't watch the game, I'll watch, long highlights of the game. And again, that's where I differ from Davey P, because he likes his stats a little more than I do. But I don't know. I sort of, there are moves. I feel like Buna plays the game in a fun way. Like he really does like have fun with the game. Like I know he had a streak there where he was doing poorly, or at least I followed on Twitter. That's the way I perceived it. And he just sort of was doing -4s. I was like, that's really risky. But no, in general, I'm more of an eye test. I'm like, if Buna was a little bit safer with his moves, that's like, if I had to compare myself to the two of them.
Yeah,
you sound like you need to get involved with these bets. You've got to back your boy Davey P right now.
So that's what I was actually going to bring that to the table, because Bilal has mentioned it in the chat. Is there a little chance of a block versus Buna side bet?
Oh, you mean like my team again? Like whoever gets a higher rank out of me and Buna?
Oh, no. I'm not looking to... No. None of that. No. Anyway, moving on.
I don't know about
Block was just like seeing like dollar signs in his eyes for a second there.
Yeah. Chelsea Flyers backing you, but he's backing you, I think, Davey P, by looking at the chat here. He's saying that he doesn't think you, Buna, can lead from the front. What do you make of that?
Pipe down, Chelsea Flyer.
Chelsea Flyer said that he thinks Brew's going to win.
Brew?
Mm-hmm. He said that Brew's been alright with everything.
Brew is more reckless than Buna. Like, genuinely is.
Just a reminder, guys.
But in defense of him, yeah, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, if you haven't subscribed already and you want to tell all your family, your pet hamster and all that, please subscribe to Elite FPL now for all the exciting content that you can't get anywhere else. Please continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say I wouldn't completely rule Brew out. I mean, his transfers aren't great, but at least he's not sideways like Davey P. I mean, who transfers out Van Dijk for Robertson, eh?
What's your thoughts on that one, Block? Is it sideways, or does it make sense?
I don't know. I don't think I would do it. I mean, I have Van Dijk at the moment. I don't have the money to get Robertson. The reason I haven't done it is from watching the games. I've seen that Van Dijk's had like some good chances where on another game he puts them away, and I don't think missing those chances are in any way hurt his confidence or anything, because I don't think like that's what he really takes pride in. Yeah, I'm sure he does, but it mostly comes from defending. But I mean, I don't think it's worth the transfer. But that could gain him some points, because Robertson has finally like looked good at getting assists. I'm not completely against it, but I wouldn't personally do it.
There you go. So thank you very much for that, Block, and obviously thank you very much, guys. We are just over the hour, and I feel that it's only right that to end the stream, or to wind it up, that the two of you should have some parting blows, parting comments to each other. I'm going to... Who did I start with tonight? I think did I start with you, Boone? I think I did. So I think it's only fair that we let Davey P go in first. So Davey P, lay it to him.
Do you want me to go? Okay. So there's what, coming at 10 game weeks left. Like, Buna says that like I'm living in my head all season. He has been doing that. Fair play to him, but like it's not changed the way I play. There's 10 game weeks this season. I'm trying to say he can have 10 perfect game weeks to stay in front of me, with 2 less chips, and be able to be
one less chip, mate. One less chip.
One less.
Pipe down.
Fine, one less chip. He's got to get. If he's 26 points, he's got to have pretty much, I'd say 9 game weeks out of 10. He has to outscore me, pretty much, going into the final game of the season. And I don't think he can do it, because he'll take hits and he'll make a mistake. human error. Like, I don't think anyone's going to have 10 perfect game weeks in a row for sure block.
So you're saying he's had it, Boona? Go on then, sock it to him.
The only way you've got a chance of beating me, Davey, is if you move away from your very, very, very boring style of playing FPL. Other than that, you've got no chance. So if you want to beat me, do something different. Get your heads out of the stats. You know, take those Excel spreadsheets out from underneath your pillows, and I'll see you game week 38, my friend.
Harsh.
I'll have my triple captainship waiting for you. Don't worry.
Dre, I know you were kind of sideway inputting from Brew, but what do you make of all this? And what's your advice to them both?
I mean, I feel that both of these guys are not only far superior than me in FPL, but I feel advice from me is kind of like asking a fireman to do a policeman's job. But you know, my advice is very simple: play your own game and stick to your own heart.
Oh, very nice, very nice. As G-Wiz would say, yep, hashtag play your own game. Block, I'm going to leave not the final words to you. I'll wrap things up in a sec. But Block, what about you? I mean, you're having a strong game week yourself, strong season yourself, as once again, which is good to see. But based on these two, I'll let you give the final blow to the two of them if you wish. Here's your chance.
I think I've blown. Okay, I was going to say I think I've blown on them enough, but that didn't sound right.
That definitely didn't sound right.
Oh my lasagna!
I was stripping them back earlier, and I thought that was going too far, but you've just way went over the line.
Yeah, you could say I finished them off.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no!
We're actually 1 minute past 9, which
Right,
I think's the
so let's
watershed
pretend-
over here. So on you go, Block.
Yeah, let's pretend that we didn't say any of that. So, I don't know. It'll be fun to watch. I don't have anything to say besides. I just hope they don't catch me. I am gonna have to back BVP just because it'll just be fun to back one of them. And you know, he's just got a different perspective than I do, completely different. So I want to see him do well with it. So I guess I gotta join his team on this one, even though he's coming from the back. It's the more exciting pick, you know. So
Yeah, I mean,
what are you doing this game week in terms of transfers?
yeah, no, that's interesting. Go for it.
oh, I wildcarded last week, so I'm saving my future transfer.
So the team that you had out is pretty much what you're going with game week 28.
I mean, yeah, except.
So you're starting Noble.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Mark Noble. Yes.
And do you want me to read the team out for the stream?
Sure.
So you've got, so this was your game week 27 team: Leno in goal, Trent at the back. So Leno with 2, Trent with 10, Van Dijk with 1, Bowley with 6, Van Arnold with 15. That's a hell of a pick, by the way. I'll give you that. Captain Salah, De Bruyne 3, Salah got 14, sorry. Martial with 8, Grealish with 1, Jimenez with 5, Ings with 2. On your bench, McCarthy with 7, Vardy with 2, Saiss with 11, and Noble with 1. And that's the kind of team, albeit shifting a few players around, but that's what you're going with.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I should have played McCarthy. I don't really blame myself for the Saiss one that much, but I mean, McCarthy, I definitely should have played him over Leno. But yeah, it's a team. I'm hoping for Mark Noble penalty.
Yeah, for sure, and that could happen. No, nice. It'll be good to see how it all finishes off, because I think at the moment, Block, you're about roughly, say, 50 odd points in front of Boona, so 70 points or so in front of Davey P, so it's actually close between the three of yous. When you take Brew into account, he's not far behind either, so it's looking, Dre, you and I will just have our own little side bet down our end of the table, pal, alright?
Okay.
Can you involve Steve-O in that?
Yeah, we'll bring Steve-O into that one. Talking about Steve-O, let's do some admin, shall we? Dre, you politely done it earlier on. I won't be able to do it as much justice as you. However, for the benefit of everyone out there, if you're new, please hit subscribe to Elite FPL's channel. It's a channel whereby you'll find solid FPL content of all shapes and sizes. Live watch-alongs, whether it's with the guys Steve-O and Jason, or myself and the rest of half a Discord, I think it is, at some points, doing live watch-alongs of whatever matches we decide we want to watch. The way you can do that, you'll have seen it scrolling across the bottom of your screens or on your phones, whatever you're watching it on, how to join Discord. Become a member in there, and that's all you need to be. It's free to do, and then you can come into the lounge, you can go into the live streams. The guys do more rate my teams and stuff like that. The Llama lounge is going to be more probably veered towards debate and stuff. The next debate could be that I think VAR is the best thing since sliced bread versus what you guys think that it's a lot of crap. But hey, let us know what you want to see and hear on the Llama Lounge. For this evening though, Davey, Boona, keep it up. It's good banter. I enjoy it, and the rest of Discord are enjoying it, and I'm sure you won't let it lie down. Dre, thank you very, very much for coming on board and giving us an input from Brew's angle and just bringing your own swagger. It's much appreciated. And Block, thank you for joining in. Much appreciated. People, it's been a pleasure. The PC held up. How it held up, I have no idea, because about 20 minutes prior to going live, my PC actually completely blew up on me. So, to make it this far, I'm chuffed. Will there be another one? Goodness only knows. Take care, folks, and enjoy your evenings. Thanking you.
Cheers all.